right, everybody, welcome back to my channel and the final part of the History of Racing for Home series. This is part 9. Part 9, we're just gonna hang with the goats, a cat, a dog barking, a couple of babies, the pigs, all the animals we've talked about, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Soap Shop. Ren right here, of course. So Soap Shop was set up and has evolved over time. My whole purpose was to offer high quality soap, locally sourced, locally made, in sustainable packaging at a cost that wasn't obscene. And let me tell you, that was a bit of a challenge, right? The formulation of my soap was done already, so that wasn't a problem. Wanting to do it in small batch format with frequent design changes and fragrance changes wasn't a problem. I sort of have a little bit of an attention span issue when it comes to that, so I like the consistent change up of scents and colors and things, so making small batches frequently was better for me anyway. Packaging was tough. Packaging required either buying boxes, shrink wrapping, or selling naked soap. None of which really appealed to me, right? So shrink wrapping was the first one that was easy to say no to. I told you in the last video, we went as plastic free as possible, and it made no sense to me to introduce packaging to my product that was plastic. Even biodegradable didn't make sense. So that was off the table. That would have been the easiest one to do, probably the most costly, but the easiest. The next option was to go with buy-in boxes. And that could have worked, right? I have a pretty standard size for my bar soap. I have a soap cutter that cuts them in a pretty standard size, so I can source boxes. But boxes created their own problem. They covered the design. They didn't allow you to really smell through them in the same way. And if I was going to seal the boxes, then you really wouldn't know what you were getting except for the pictures. That seemed counterintuitive to me. Okay, well, they can make boxes with windows, except those windows are covered in plastic. Dun, dun, dun. So next option, naked soap. And I tried naked soap for a while, right? And by naked soap, I mean I just wrapped it with what they call a cigar band wrapper, right? It looks like a piece of paper wrapped around it, has your ingredients on it, has your branding on it, but the soap itself is open air. You can smell it, you can see it. It was okay. There were a couple problems I had with that, primarily being that as soap gets older, the moisture content continues to evaporate from it and soap shrinks a little bit. So the cigar bands were constantly falling off. They still really covered the designs that I was making, so you didn't really see what you were getting. And you know, they're open air, right? They're open to anything. And while you can't really say it's not sanitary because the minute you put water and soap together, everything's fine. It wasn't appealing to me. So the evolution of that became, I had to make my own packaging. It had to be a soap box that prevented the soap from sitting on a dirty shelf or a dirty table or anything, you know, I would say being touched or picked up from the sides and being, you know, touched on the actual bar, but still allowed for a front window that let the design and the color and the fragrance shine through. And so what I do now is I source from a local source post-consumer recycled craft paper, craft K-R-A-F-T, so brown paper. And I print at home the information on the paper. I cut at home the boxes out of that paper. I fold and glue the boxes by hand. And there you go. That's the packaging of my soap. And then I add a sticker for their ingredients. That is the only sticker that goes on it. Everything else is printed directly on with sustainably sourced ink from, Eco ink type of thing. Is that the most efficient way? Absolutely not. Is it the way that really fits with what I expect my brand to represent? It does. So that's how our soap packaging evolved. That's how the soap shop evolved. If you haven't checked it out, there's a link down below in the description box. Every single purchase of soap goes directly to the animals. It feeds them, waters them, it takes care of them. It certainly isn't paying the bills, I can assure you that, but it is helping, and every little bit helps. And my hope is that if you want to support the farm and what we are doing here, this way you actually get a usable product, something that's good for you, something that'll pamper you a little bit. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think it's a ridiculous amount of time that I spend on it and I should just stop that. I'm open to opinions, always. Really appreciate you being here with me. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you for hanging in for this series. And if you liked it, let me know. We'll do more. If you didn't, well, then we won't do any more and it'll be okay. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Every little bit helps. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.